It's Big Rick here from #Happiness, here with a couple of guys who have Pittsburgh ties and are in Pittsburgh tonight. Badflower, Alex, and Anthony, you're here. And for some of you, it's homecoming. Some of you moved here. So let's start with moving here. You moved here
I did.
in the pandemic.
Yes, the absolute worst time.
Well, so that was 2020. It's 2025. How often are you here?
Well, I live here, so I know the band is not touring.
So you're still here.
Yes, that's what it is.
We both are.
Oh, you're here too now.
Yeah.
Because you had said you had moved to LA.
Well, that's where we all met.
Yeah.
Then we all left LA in the pandemic. He was ahead because he was hanging out here with his, future wife at the time.
Yeah.
And so then when, the lockdown happened, he just never left. And then I moved out here, 6 months later, and the other two guys went to Nashville.
And you went to Riverview High School.
I did, yeah.
Is it to be able to come back here? And it's cool.
Yeah,
Is it cool to be able to come back here? What's that feel like? Because most people don't have. Most people that start a band, especially when they move away from home,
Yeah.
most bands don't make it. It's a slim number. You're not going to be making it, but you're back tonight where you grew up.
Yeah.
Playing on a pool stage at 311. That's pretty bad.
I would have been pinching myself, 20 years ago. But when I moved to LA when I was 19, and I was ready to get out of here, I wasn't old enough to experience the city yet. So
Sure.
And I know it's built up more since then. So by the time I came back, it was sort of I'm not gonna say it's like LA, but there's a lot of things that LA had that wasn't here that's now here.
When you think about that, though, and you move back here, and now you're a touring musician, and
Yeah.
you're probably a pretty decent living as a touring musician in a very good band, and you're 15 minutes, 20 minutes down 28,
Yeah.
your house from childhood is right down that road. This got to mean a little something different. You said, I was 19, I couldn't wait to get out of here.
Right. Well, I
But
like
you
being
both
back.
now live here by choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, after being out there for so long, you just sort of get worn out by everyday life, just grocery shopping, driving anywhere. It's sort of, you're just always stuck behind people. And then I have a young daughter, so at the time, that really added pressure of being there. So for me, it was a relief to get out of LA and come back here. Because all my family's here.
That's a good.
And I still have the career,
Yeah,
which is even better.
That's beating the system.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
We get to come back to a nice, peaceful environment. Because it's there's a lot to do in the city, but it's very calm and relaxed. And, I laugh and people bitch about the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm man, there was 5 lanes of traffic in every direction out there. And I feel no matter where I go, I'm there 10, 15 minutes around.
That's great. I was in LA about 2 months ago, and I was with somebody who wanted to go to Hollywood. Well, they were like, let's go to Hollywood. I'm like, I don't think you understand. It's not what they show on TV. She's like, I want to see the stars on the Walk of Fame. I was like, I don't want to tell you what else you're going to see. So I was like, okay, if you want to. So we pull in and we go under the CVS there on Hollywood Boulevard and have to pay, or the Target. Yeah. And the CVS is right there. I was like, we just paid $30 to park for 2 hours to look at this. I was like, we could go to the worst part of Pittsburgh and see that. So it is probably an interesting get to have the career plus the feeling of coming home. Have you guys become recognizable enough here that people go, that's the dude from Badflower?
I think he is.
Yes, sometimes it happens. I can go on my wife. We've got all the restaurants and bars here, and especially when I come here at shows, 1 or 2 people will say, "Oh, I remember that." Some people working here.
Probably
too. So that.
Are you afraid to say what parts of the city that you live in now? Or
No, I would live in the strip district.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Okay, so you get the whole downtown vibe. And
You'll see him walking somewhere every day if you live around there.
Yeah.
Go to La Crema, get your coffee in the morning.
Rollins, Jody, Neil's.
Oakmont Bakery. I know you went to that.
I actually brought some today.
Did you
really?
Yeah. This is it's fun to be able to talk about this, but let's talk about the band and how you get to have both the life of a musician and a touring band, and also this life. Talk about the road, because Pittsburgh is a nice feeling to come home to, but man, this is a big world, and you've probably seen some really cool things in the last couple of years that have to blow your mind being a kid growing up in Oklahoma?
Sure.
What's the biggest?
I'm always more like, probably when we go overseas to Europe, there's still a lot of places we haven't been, but when we go over there, for me, that's like exploring, I've never seen half of this stuff. At this point, we've been to like Paris and some London a bunch of times that I sort of know what to look for, what to expect. But like we have a European tour at the end of this year that's going to like a lot of places we've never been in. So to me, that's like a vacation.
Oh, yeah.
With a little bit of work each day.
But it's work you love.
Yeah.
What do you find most fascinating about when you leave here, go out into the world on your world tour? I mean, what have you seen and you're like, I can't believe I just saw it?
I mean, one of the biggest trips we've made as a band was Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to get together. It's so far away, but that was cool. If it wasn't for music, I wouldn't have music to go there.
And you grew up in LA?
I did.
So there's the juxtaposition,
right. Yeah.
is you grew up used to the things that you couldn't wait to move back to
Well,
PA.
I got tired of all those things too. As I got older and just being in the band, you get worn down by the way life out there. And one of the things, because we would just, throughout tours, we'd visit here. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of used to being in Pittsburgh, but it was very easy to adopt the life here. I look forward to it. And honestly, after every tour, I love coming back home. I consider this my home now.
I feel like the tourism bureau should probably give me some sort of award for how much we're talking about liking Pittsburgh. But I love it too. I mean, I've been all over the place, and I actually am still a pitch too. I love it here. But let's get into the Badflower part of this. The reason that I wanted to make sure that we caught up today, and specifically ask for some Pittsburgh guys, is I got to be in attendance for this band playing at what for that year was called Kill Pod. So we're going on now almost 15 years of what we refer to as the convention in Vegas. It has had a couple of names. It's now #happens. But you guys are playing next to clothes racks in the John Barbados store in a casino in a hotel that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
You guys outkicked the Hard Rock Hotel coverage. I mean, I remember that distinctly. Do you remember any of that?
I do.
Do you?
I remember being there. Like what I remember like I can like see in my head a little bit of like playing there just because I remember it being like a small place and
it was a clothing store. Like it was an actual clothing store.
But it was like 7 years ago, so
yeah,
the memories faded a little.
Well, I think what's nice for other radio programmers and people that work with us at Happens and our radio partners around the country is it's probably blurry for you because you've been to 4,000 cities since then. But for those of us that have played the records over the years, got to know the band, watch it grow as a band, you're probably from baby band to now our most successful alumni because you played there when I don't think Ghost was even out yet.
I think it just
came out.
That was sort of our push to radio for it.
Yeah, so I mean we're talking. You hadn't been broken down.
Right.
That's the best way to put it. And so for those of us that helped play that song and watch your career, and those of us involved with Happens, we're like, hey, this was one we got in early on and that's one of our bands. That's one of the bands that we all went, that's going to be a band that we're talking about 7 years later in their hometown. So we're proud of you. I know it sounds weird, because you're like, who the hell is this guy and what has happened? But, from all the people that have pushed that convention forward over the years, I mean, we talk about you guys a lot. I mean, there's when the Chevelle stops by or Gavin Rossdale stops by, it's a big deal for us, but it's, our goal of awareness to bands, to other programmers, and to the world, really. Our job is to introduce people to music. You guys hit the top of that list for us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity at conventions like that. Give bands like us.
Little last one. Let's kind of transition to that a little bit too. I mean, obviously, radio is not the only place to get music. I'm going to believe that it is. I know it's not. How different from when you started to play music in your youth do you absorb music now? I mean, we grew up listening to WDVD and 105.9. Sure. I mean, I still do.
Yeah.
I still do. Not the only place to get music consumption anymore, though. How's it changed for the band? Like, from who was the band you loved hearing on the radio?
Man.
Because they probably didn't get their momentum the same way you did.
Right. Yeah, I mean, different era, different time, you wanted records, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, when I just started playing drums, I kind of, like, got put on classic rock guys by, like, my uncles and stuff. But my dad was, like, Blink-182 would have been a band, like, right at the time of starting to play drums that had the song Damn It, and then by the next record, they took off, and then the next one, they were, like, massive, you know?
Yeah. It was, thinking about it, 104.7, the Revolution, that was a thing when we were younger. It's cool to think about that all this radio, even though it is certainly changed, is still here. And that's like, you can hear a Badflower song playing on the radio as easily as you can pull it up on your phone. Yeah. I think that has to be somewhat awakening. Steven Adler once told me a story about how Guns N' Roses, for the first time, heard themselves on the radio. He told me this, and I was like, I bet a lot of bands don't get to feel that way anymore. You know, I mean, he was like, we're just kids, and we're all fucked up in a parking lot listening to our song come through the car radio.
Yeah, I was thinking that before that, because there was way less ways to hear it.
Yeah.
Then you're like glued to the radio for a song you want to hear.
Yeah.
I can remember doing it as a kid. If I didn't have the CD, I'm like, okay, every like 2 hours they're gonna play this new song I like.
And they still do.
Yeah,
radio still does that.
Yeah, you'll still hear. It's funny when I moved back and I put the X on in the afternoon. It's literally the playlist that I grew up listening to. It's like part of the day.
You gotta get your Pearl Jam in.
You gotta hear "It's Been a While" by Stained. And, it's like standards. There's just some staples they gotta play every day.
Yeah, well, it's cool that Badflower gets added to radio stations all around this country. Like I said, we at Happens are very proud of you. We're happy that you got to come home tonight. I would imagine a lot of family friends here tonight.
Yeah,
I love it.
I got in trouble for mad too many people. Yeah,
you would think that they would give you a pass.
That's what I said. I was like, look, I'm born here. It's the only show where I'll have this many people. Sorry, our sound guy couldn't get his buddy in. I'm kidding. You don't like a shot. Shots fired. But I'm like, this guy like a dude he sees once a year. Right. You know?
Yeah, you're like,
right. I gotta get my tickets for my aunt.
Yeah. Right. I think that's okay. It's great to be able to talk to you guys for a little while and just continued success. And please come back and see us at #Happens because now you're the Chevelle. Now you're the I mean, you're the Gavin Rossdale. We had Hollywood Undead in this past year. I mean, Brett Gurwitz from Bangladesh was in this year. I mean, to us, I think when you come back and see us, it happens in February in Vegas. When that comes, we're all like, be like kind of the first ones to be raised there and then come back and say hi. So that'd be awesome.
Look, a new record, huh?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know how much you wanted to talk about that because I read something in an email line about talking about the song. So I didn't want to overpush, but let's talk about it. If you want to bring it up, let's talk.
See, if you get anything good out of it, then use it. I mean, I'm not opposed to answer questions about
okay, well, let's,
we just didn't write the lyrics, so I can only go so deep.
Yeah,
the meanings.
I think that's perhaps what I was warned about. So, well, then talk about the process, though. I mean, because this is the fourth
release, but third full length.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know. The process took a while. There was. I'd say it really started almost 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
In Europe, and then that's when Josh was writing on the road and
on his own west.
Yeah,
and I played with ideas in the back lounge after shows.
We even recorded a demo on stage at a sound check for it. It didn't make the record. We were like kind of just, he was floating ideas back then, and then we came home.
I think the vast majority of the record was written in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, at least half of it. Yeah. Because what happened was he started writing, we started getting on this thing, and then we had the tour again beginning of last year, or 23 or whatever. So there was like breaks in between. And then Josh and Joey came up here and stayed for about a month, and a bunch of stuff was worked on and written then, and then, just slowly over time, and then we started recording our parts like a little over a year ago.
What's inspirational about writing some music here in Pittsburgh? Because it's interesting to think that someone who's lived the interesting life that we know Josh has lived came here to write music.
I think I don't know if he probably wasn't drawing inspiration from the city, more just he was away from his environment.
Yeah.
So it was a place to focus on where like he didn't have all of his stuff sitting around. We were in an Airbnb, and it's sort of like we were here to do it, you know.
It's like, it's just like Zeppelin going out to the ocean to write this.
Pretty much
The same, but yeah. But no, I mean, it probably does change your perspective if you're used to seeing nothing but traffic and insanity and all the craziness.
Yeah, it's kind of a favor to me too because I have a kid, so it allowed me to stay in town and still work on stuff.
People don't think about rock stars having real responsibilities, but that's probably huge as a band for you to go, there's two guys that live here, and it would probably make a better record if you weren't missing your families and things like that. That counts.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like big shit.
Definitely helps.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad that, Pittsburgh had at least a little bit of taste with this new record, and we're looking forward to hearing it tonight with 311. That has to be talking about bands we heard on the X you every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Is that weird to like meet these guys and go, oh yeah, I grew up listening to this?
It's weird. It's like I grew up for sure. They're a band I grew up listening to.
Oh, you had to.
As a drummer, Chad Sexton is, he's got a sound that like he was identifiable on the radio.
Sure,
he has a sound to his play that I always liked, but I'm not gonna say I just always wanted to do this so bad that like to do it is definitely like a pinch me moment, but I'm also like, yeah, I'm supposed to.
I'm
Like,
saying,
yeah, it is.
I think,
you know,
sometimes people don't have that confidence.
yeah.
And I think that's probably what hinders a lot of people from doing the things that they love. Going, I would like to do that. You're like, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And tonight you're here in your hometown. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. # happens. We'll be back with more.